Judge Greg Mathis sat tall behind the mic, voice calm but unmistakably firm, as he and his son Amir once again peeled back the layers of one of the most shocking celebrity court cases of the decade. On their Mathis Verdict podcast, the father-son duo didn't shy away from the controversy. With composure and clarity, Mathis addressed the elephant in the room, the Sean Diddy Combs sex trafficking trial. And this time, he didn't just give commentary, he issued his own hypothetical sentence. "There's a lot of noise out there," Mathis began, "but as a judge, I don't deal in noise, I deal in evidence." He reminded listeners right away that despite the salacious headlines and emotional reactions on social media, the legal process remains rooted in facts and burden of proof. "Let me be clear," he said. "Prosecutors have yet to fully prove the sex trafficking and racketeering allegations. That's a very high standard. They haven't cleared that bar." But then came the pivot. "That third charge though," Mathis continued, his tone tightening. "Transportation to engage in prostitution, based on what's been presented, I believe he's guilty of that." It was a moment that rippled beyond the podcasting world. "Now listen," Mathis emphasized, leaning into the mic, "that's a federal crime. A low-level federal crime, but a crime nonetheless. If it were my bench, I'd be handing him less than 1 year." He paused. Let it hang in the air. Less than 1 year. That's the guideline. That's the law. That's the justice system working, not off outrage, not off TMZ clips, but off the code. Amir chimed in, trying to make sense of what this meant to a generation who grew up with Diddy as a larger-than-life figure, a music mogul, an icon, and now, a man battling federal accusations. Mathis didn't flinch. "You see, this is where people get it twisted," he said. "Yes, Diddy may have flown high, parties, yachts, private jets, celebrity guests. But the law doesn't care about glitz. The law cuts through the gold chains and gets to the truth." He acknowledged the emotional complexity of the trial. There were real victims, real testimonies, and real trauma. But there were also statutes of limitations, especially for state-level crimes. "That's why you're not seeing those state charges brought," Mathis explained. "It's not that those acts didn't happen, it's that the law has a ticking clock." He expressed empathy for the alleged victims. He called out the moral failure of men in power who exploit that power. But again, he drilled into the difference between moral outrage and legal outcome. "This is why folks lose faith in the system," Mathis said. "Because we expect the system to hand out moral punishment. But it only dishes out legal punishment." He underscored how federal and state systems differ. How the latter couldn't press charges due to expired timelines. How the former moved forward with what it could. And how one low-level charge could be the only thing that sticks. "Less than 1 year," he repeated, "is not a slap on the wrist. It's the statute speaking. It's the law doing what it's designed to do." Throughout the podcast, Amir tried to push deeper. "Do you think that's enough?" he asked. Mathis shook his head. "That's not for me to decide. That's for the people. That's for lawmakers. That's for society. My job is to call the law as I see it." They both acknowledged that this case, regardless of outcome, will change how people look at fame, consent, power, and accountability. Mathis closed with a thought that echoed far beyond the episode. "This isn't about Diddy. This is about how our system handles allegations when money, status, and time get in the way. Justice doesn't always feel good. But it should always be fair." And, with that, the gavel of public opinion remained suspended, but the gavel of reason had fallen. The podcast ended, not with drama, not with scandal, but with a sober reflection on law, justice, and the uncomfortable truth that sometimes, even a guilty verdict comes with a limited sentence.